Hopefully everybody can hear me right now. There it goes. So again, my name is Noah. I'm one of the educators with Shortcuts. And today we're going to be looking at how to set up pre-arrival messaging for your business. So as with our other classroom sessions, we are recording this presentation. So it's going to be approximately 30 minutes, give or take. Oops, let's go back one slide. My microphone is on. Of course, everybody else is muted. And we will send a copy of this recording to everybody. So if you have to drop out early, that's fine. And also, some people usually sign up and they don't have today available, but they watch it after the fact. So we always make these recordings available. And if you have questions after the fact, you can always reach out to us. So let's actually jump right into it. So pre-arrival messages, we're going to learn how to set them up, how to make sure your Shortcuts is ready to send marketing or to use marketing. Who exactly are the customers that we're going to reach out to? So we're going to cover all the bases. If you've never set up an email campaign, if you've never set up a text campaign, just follow along. We're going to cover actually all of the steps, not just the steps for pre-arrival. So pretty much the things that I show you will be applicable to other marketing campaigns. So this includes if you've never set up a happy birthday campaign or a we miss you campaign, you'll actually know how to do that. So for pre-arrival messages, how does this differ from the other campaigns that Shortcuts has at its disposal? Well, it's not necessarily the same thing as a confirmation. Those are completely different things. Nor is it the same as an appointment acknowledgement. Sometimes people confuse the three. What pre-arrival messaging is any customer that has an appointment before they're supposed to show up, if you need to send them a message, whether it's due to COVID, whether it's due to restrictions, or even if it's things like if you're doing a braid or an extension service or something like that, and you have to have the customer's hair in a certain condition, whether it's washed beforehand or dry beforehand, whatever it is, and you need them to know there are certain rules for your establishment, you can actually set up a message before they arrive. So the window that this message is sent is anywhere from 5 minutes before they arrive to 24 hours in advance. You actually get to choose when it goes out. So again, usually for the salons this past year, we've been dealing with a lot of COVID closures, reopenings, depending on how the progress is going in your town. So little by little, as businesses are opening, you still may have some restrictions in place. So you might want to send a message, 30 minutes or an hour before they arrive, just reminding them of the rules. So again, this could be used for anything. So the audience in Shortcuts, who is designed to receive these messages? If you actually look at a client card, you're going to notice that every customer has some details that are available, some preferences. So Shortcuts actually has different layers of customer contact info. So if you have a customer's cell number, if you have a customer's email number, the customer actually gets to choose which messages they would prefer to receive. So for example, if your business has confirmations, text or email, then the customer can say, I don't mind getting marketing emails from you, that's fine. But if you're going to send me a confirmation, I'd rather get a text than an email. So that's where all these little checkboxes come into play. Now, some of our Shortcuts customers also have surveys that go out. So the customer can actually say, yes, I want to get an email message from you about your promotions or special events. I'd like to get a text confirmation when my appointment's coming up, but I don't want to get a survey. So you can actually configure all of those settings for each customer. And conversely, if the customer gets a survey or if they get a confirmation or if they get an email and they decide they want to opt themselves out, of course, they still have permission to do that. So everybody, I want to make sure that everybody in attendance is familiar with the client card, is familiar with setting up those options. Now, in the case of some of the sites we've been working with, you've been open for a long time, you really haven't cleaned up your database, you may have duplicates. I always advise get in the habit of merging your customers, make it part of your end of day process. We do have a video covering those steps. and start to clean up your database, start to clean up your contact information, your contact preferences for your customers, especially as you start sending out text and emails. So let's actually look at how that's set up in Shortcuts. So I'm going to jump out of the presentation for a second and directly into Shortcuts. So again, every customer that I have, if I go right to the client list and I just search for somebody, let's see, there we go, Wally's in my system. So I'll choose him and I'll go to his profile. So of course, if I have his cell number, if I get an email from him, then in the right column, this is where I get to choose what options does he want. So for marketing, he says, I want to get your email promotions. I want to get confirmations on text, so I'll take email off of that. If I have a loyalty program, does he want to get email updates about his points? And of course, for surveys, he prefers to get an email survey. So every customer has this. And whenever you receive a new customer, you might want to be asking some of these questions right away. So whenever you press new client, do you have the options that say marketing, appointment confirmations, ratings, and reviews on this list of questions? You can actually customize this for your business. So when you go to clients, when you go to new, you may not all see this exactly as it is on my screen. I've customized it for myself. If you decide that you want to change these settings, just follow along. So in your version of Shortcuts, and mind you, I'm on version 8.1, the newest version of Shortcuts, so your screen may look a little different. However, the steps are exactly the same. So I want you to go to Setup, Configuration, and again, the buttons may look a little different for you, but Setup and Configuration are in all the version of Shortcuts. And on the left side of the screen, I want you to go to the tab that says General. Once you're under the General tab, I want you to go to the Clients button. So there are 4 tabs at the top of the screen. The first 3 correspond with demographics for your customers. The 4th is the most important. This is where you can actually start to customize the list of questions that you want to ask whenever you get a new client. And to move the order, all you literally have to do is click and drag the button on the left side and drag and drop to a new position. So in this case, for my business, I prefer to ask, can I get a first name, last name, cell phone number, and email? That's my preference. So I make sure the quick checkbox is turned on. I'm not really interested with home numbers, nor am I interested with home numbers, so I can disable that. And then at the bottom of the list are my marketing and confirmation options. So I want to make sure that text and email are options for marketing as well as for appointment confirmations. But when it comes to ratings and reviews, the surveys that I send out, I prefer to send email instead. So those are my settings. So now when I create a new client, that is why they see those specific questions. So make sure you have the ability to have customers opt in or have the front desk help customers opt in or opt out. This will synchronize to your online marketing. So now that we know that, let's go back to the presentation. So now we're going to look at how to actually prepare all of your marketing campaigns, including your pre-arrival messages. So most of you are familiar with the Shortcuts console. This is the page that you go to when you want to set up online booking or when you want to set up permissions for your staff. This is also the place you go to when you want to look at customer surveys. So it's console.shortcutsoftware.com. Once you're in the console, you want to configure your icons, your links that are going to appear in your email. So to do that, if you've never done it before, I want you to log into the console, and then you're going to go to Site Settings. In Site Settings, there's a few things you can update. If you have a business logo, or if you've updated your business logo, you want to make sure that there's a copy of it here. Also, from this are your social media links. So after you upload your logo, if you scroll down, you have options for website, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. So depending on which of those pages you may have all four, you may just have one or two, update the links because these links will automatically appear on your email. Same with your business logo. So if your logo is here, your social media links are here, they will appear in the email. Now, let's say you don't have an Instagram or you don't have a Twitter. If you leave those fields blank, then the email that goes out will also not include the picture or the icon. So you don't have to worry about there being an Instagram or a Twitter button that goes nowhere. Those will just disappear. So update your site settings. So before you send out any campaign, whether it's pre-arrival, whether it's happy birthday, update your site settings. So let's actually take a look at that. So I'm going to point it out. I'm going to go to the console, and in this case, I have Angel's Test Salon. So I've logged in, and I'm going to Site Settings. And up at the top, the first thing I do is I upload my company logo. And then as I scroll down, I can put in my website. And of course, in this case, it's shortcuts, my Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So make sure you do that for all of your email campaigns. And it's very easy to do. Okay, now that you know how to get customers on your email list or your text list in shortcuts, and how to make sure that your emails have your business information, your business logo, your social media, now let's talk about actually putting together a campaign. So from the console, there is a button that says Cloud. So you can just press the Cloud button and go directly to the Shortcuts Cloud. Or you may have a link, a bookmark to the cloud, and that's usually at point of sale, pos.shortcutsoftware.com, and your site has a specific site ID number. So whatever you bookmark, it's going to be after the shortcutsoftware.com, it'll be like site something, something, something. So bookmark that page if you just want a shortcut for it. Once you're there, once you're in the cloud, you're going to go to the marketing button. And again, the marketing button is available for all tiers of customers. You don't have to be on our highest tier or even our middle tier. Everybody that uses shortcuts, every salon, spa, barbershop, you all have access to marketing. So once you go to marketing, you've got all sorts of options here. You have your pre-arrival template, for example, but you also have your happy birthday, your we miss you, your time to see you again templates. And you can set up both an email or a text, or both if you prefer. So in this case, we're going to choose the pre-arrival instruction one, and then we're going to put in the rules for our business. Now, by default, every one of those email templates will include your social media, will include your business logo, your business links. But if you decide, when I'm setting up my email campaign, when I'm setting up my pre-arrival instructions, I want to include another graphic. So we actually have an option, a little checkbox that says display image, and then you can upload a picture from your computer. So there is a maximum size for this picture. We've tried to make it mobile friendly. So our image size is, the largest would be 600 by 300 pixels. So in this case, if I have an alert I want to let everybody know, then in this case, I have a picture that says an important update for our clients. So right before the customer arrives, an hour before, they get this message. So then you customize the message itself. You know your business logo's there, you put in a graphic. What instructions does the customer have to know? So if your town is still dealing with COVID restrictions, and you have things like they are not allowed to bring a guest, they have to wait in the parking lot, but they prefer that they call you once they arrive, and you can return the call to let them know that the chair is ready. Whatever those instructions are, you're going to type that in. And then you can also customize it so that it's in the name of a specific person. So every email template has something that says insert field. and it's a pull-down menu. So when you're typing in the message, instead of just saying, when you get here, give us a call, we'll let you know when your chair is ready. It would be a little nicer to say, when you get here, and insert the customer's name. So when you get here, Stephen, please let us know. Here's our number, and we will inform you when your chair is available. So you can use the insert field to put in first name, last name, your phone number, your business name, and other details right from Shortcuts. Now, before you activate your message, you have the ability to preview it. And Shortcuts will generate a little window that says, this is what the email looks like. This is what the message looks like. If you find a typo, you want to make some edits, you can, of course, make some changes, send another preview for yourself, or even send a test to yourself. And then once you're happy with it, then you can activate your message. So let's actually review these steps. So I'm going to go directly to the cloud. So in the cloud, I'm going to the marketing button. And once I'm in marketing, I'm going to pre-arrival instructions. Now my campaigns are already active, but I'm going to make them inactive for now. So I will scroll down to my window and I will deactivate. So at the top of my email, I know that my company logo is already coming in from site settings. If I want to choose a picture, if I want to upload a picture, I press choose file and I go to my pictures folder. So there's the last client I was working with. And I'll scroll down and I'll find a picture that I want to use. So let's see, which one can I use? I think I have a messages one here. And my previews are not loading. So I'll just cancel that. So I'll just choose the default one that I have. But it's very easy to select a picture. So then I have my subject. So in this case, Angel Salon pre-arrival instructions for, and this, right in the subject, is where I inserted the customer's first name. So it's really nice that the message that arrives says Angel Salon pre-arrival instructions for Noah. And then the body, again, I put in the customer name. So it would say, hi, Noah. Thanks for booking at Shortcuts USA Angels Test Salon. And it'll put in the appointment details. Now, something you may want to change, because if your business, your staff, you don't necessarily want to see or quote the customers what the price is, especially if they're getting a color service or something else, the price may change. So instead of appointment details, you can instead choose to insert the appointment day or the appointment time. So in this case, I'm putting both of those in. So I've replaced appointment details with appointment time, appointment date. And then are there any other rules I want to type in? So I can absolutely change the message here. And then at the bottom, I can press preview. And Shortcuts will generate what the email will look like. And there it is. And there are my social media links at the bottom. If I actually want to send a physical test to myself, I can press send test, put in my email, and hit send. And now I can look at it on my phone, look at it on my computer, see how it appears to me. If I'm happy with it, then the last thing I want to do is choose how many minutes in advance should it go out. So I set it to 60 minutes. So an hour is plenty of time for the customer to be reminded that these are my salon rules. Once I press activate, then it's live immediately. So no waiting until tomorrow, no waiting 24 hours. It's ready now. And if I discover for some reason I made a mistake, I can always deactivate it, make my edits, and then resume when I'm ready. So if you have not set up your pre-arrival messages, it's fairly easy to do that. Just make sure your customers are opted in for messages, your business picture and your social media are updated, and choose a graphic if you'd like to choose a graphic to upload. So what about sending a text message instead? So what if you want to send a text message before the customer comes in, just to remind them of your rules or your policy. The steps are almost identical. You go to marketing. Instead of email, you choose pre-arrival SMS campaign. And then you type in the message like, before you arrive, make sure you follow our safety rules or our COVID rules or our hair rules, whatever it is. Now you are limited. You only have about 114 characters to put in your message. Otherwise, you're going to have to send 2 messages per client or more. You still have the ability to preview what it looks like or to send a test to yourself. And once you're happy with it, then you can activate it. Now, let me actually pause here before we wrap up the presentation, and I'll actually show you how to send a text instead. So I'm going to go back to marketing. And if you notice, the SMS option, the email option, is immediately under the email. And you still have the ability to press insert field and put in the customer's name. So in this case, my text message is pretty short. We're looking forward to seeing you. If you have cold or flu-like symptoms, please call to reschedule. And I put in my business number. So that's the message I have. And again, once I press activate, then 1 hour before the customer comes in, depending on whatever their preference is, whether it's email or text, they're going to get the message that says these are the rules. Okay, now let's go back and wrap up this presentation. So now you should know how to actually configure shortcuts for your customers so that they receive your campaigns, whether they're email or text. How to configure your social media, your business logo, your information in the Shortcuts console. And how to actually configure the pre-arrival messages in Shortcuts marketing. So again, everybody that uses Shortcuts should have a cloud account. Doesn't matter which tier you're on. Everybody has access to send out those campaigns. And they're super easy to set up, super easy to send. Now, if you have the previous build of Shortcuts, the older Fusion or version 7, and you want to upgrade to version 8, you can always let our customer care know, and we can get you scheduled for an upgrade. Now, we are running a promotion, and even though we're on the end of the month, our current promotion for the rest of May is we're working with GPI Global Payments to set up new accounts. So they're our new preferred method to do processing, and they do integrate with Shortcuts. So if you have a pretty good rate with your bank, GPI may be able to match or beat it. So give our customer care a call, and during this month, you actually get a free terminal if you sign up with Global Payments. Also, because of the new build of Shortcuts, because of improved security with GPI, improved security on networks, we are offering remote connection. So this is something that was disabled previously just because of security concerns with Windows. But the newest build of Shortcuts, the new payment integration, is so secure, we're of course bringing it back. So if you enjoy working from home or you need to run reports from home, make changes to your server from home, you might want to look into remote connection. So do see about getting an upgrade if you haven't updated your version of Shortcuts. And if you're interested in global payments or integrated payments, give our customer care team a call. So here's our number, and here's our email. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and reach out to us. And as with the other classroom sessions, if you're watching this presentation after the fact, or if you have any questions with the education team or with customer care, you can also reach us on social media. So we do check our Instagram, we do check our Facebook. So now we're going to open up the floors for questions. So if anybody has any questions, if you're in the GoToWebinar toolbar, there should be a question bar on the right side. Go ahead and type in your question. And I'll give you a moment if you're still writing down your notes. And We might not have any questions. It was a pretty straightforward classroom today. Okay, I don't think we have any questions. So let's go ahead and continue. So if you don't have, for some reason, you don't have a cloud account, or you forgot your cloud account information, or you need to make sure your Shortcuts does have the cloud access, or you want to see about upgrading to Shortcuts 8 or getting integrated payments, go ahead and give our customer care team a call. So thank you all for attending. I appreciate you coming in for the classroom session. So we have a few more sessions scheduled before we start up a new series. So as always, if you're watching this after the fact, go ahead and reach out to us via email or even social media, and we will get back to you. So thank you all. Have a great day, everybody.